long tail of a pandemic, the shadow hovering over the world. And in many ways, rather like your character, Bucky, we're all sort of a little bit feral in a way, trying to get used to this, whatever this new normal is.
Of course. And I think that's one of the things that makes, our show so relevant or timely and relatable, because it deals very much with a world post blip and where it's left these characters, particularly in terms of the past and what they haven't faced, and certainly what has happened in the time that was lost, being gone in this blip. And it's obviously taps into very serious dramatic arcs for both of them. And, there's some humor in there too.
Oh, there's light and shade, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I am a bit of a Marvel geek, I must admit. And what I found extraordinary about this is, can you imagine 10 years ago or more than 10 years ago when you got involved in this, that you would see this sort of scale on the smaller screen? I mean, it's absolutely epic.
It is, but we've been kind of, we've been heading that way, right, for a minute now, because you've had, television really has been pretty consistently gaining ground and developing and stuff. You want to go back to like The Sopranos, and then I think Game of Thrones really changed things. And obviously Marvel now is definitely changing things, just in terms of, the quality and the fact that you can have something on the smaller screen that can be just as impactful, just as entertaining, and as expensive, as the movie.
So have you gotten more expensive, or did you drop your fee for this, or you're still?
Well, no, I mean, in terms of what it takes to make these movies, we're streaming shows budget wise, right? I think for a show that we were, again, if you want to label us a comic book show, right? Everything was locations. We didn't have a lot of green screen CGI. So that meant a lot of like actual being in these scenes, in these locations, and a lot of the stunt work was manual and not CGI. And so there's all these things that kind of, ramp up budgets.
The same is obviously for Anthony Mackie's Wilson, the symbolism of this shield. We talked about the pandemic, but also Marvel increasingly diverse. The idea of an African-American holding the shield and what the shield symbolizes, and wrestling with actually what his country represents for him too, or how he can represent that country that he feels isn't representing him. There's so much at play here, and it's so timely.
Yeah. Well, exactly. And I think the show is asking those questions and very much taking us on a journey through his experience finally, and an experience that we haven't seen from the Falcon. And we've never even understood really about the Falcon before, because you never got a full on backstory to him, which you're getting now finally. And similarly with Bucky as well, it's a time of sort of re-educating in many ways, and both characters, along with the show, I think, asking the right questions of what are symbols, and what do we need symbols anymore, and if so, can they make the leap of time, right, and become relevant again to what's actually happening.
We're almost out of time, so I've got to rush into, if you don't mind, sir, if you forgive the indulgence, some fan questions.
Obviously, yeah, of course.
On the show. Are you happy with that? Okay, so the first one is from Alex on Twitter. Sebastian says, Alex, I named my budgie Bucky. What do you think of him? I printed this out. This cost me a fortune in print.
I didn't know what budgie was. Okay. It's very cute.
You're very impressed.
It looks like he's got winter. Yeah, exactly. A winter-esque look.
Thank you, Alex, for that, and tearing through my printer cartridge. From Dasha, hi, Sebastian. If Bucky had a notebook of movies and music like Steve Rogers, what would you personally add to this list?
Oh my God, I don't know. The Rolling Stones, for one thing. Prince, David Bowie. Maybe because that's more my.
No, I think that's great.
But also there.
Something for everyone there. Okay, two more. From Isabella on Twitter. In the first episode, Bucky says that he's tried online dating. We mentioned it. What do you think Bucky would put in his profile bio, and what would his go-to pickup line be?
Here I am. I'm just a man trying to do my best. I don't know. How are you?
Yeah,
you know, like, it would be something really, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I say, for 103, you look really well, mate. From Alexandra Thomas 07 on Instagram, if you could be any other Marvel character, who would it be and why?
Well, I mean, I really kind of dug myself in there with this Moon Knight character, but I really mean that. Like, I didn't know the storyline of that character, but I was so excited about it just because it just sounds like such a complex character. So I'll just go with Moon Knight.
You'll go with that. I know you're going to be playing Tommy Lee very, very soon. Have you spoken to him about that? Are you going to go deep into that part as well?
I haven't, you know, even gone in my mind there yet, because we've been just so, you know, excited about the show and getting it out and stuff. But I'm excited to dive back into the 90s.
Welcome aboard, my friend. Although the 70s and 80s was probably more my generation. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. And best of luck with the rest of it. It's fantastic.